Hi guys, I want to make this video and I want to discuss as to why I make videos. Today my son called me after school and told me that a kid that he goes to school with felt the need to tell him to go cry to his drunk mom. And he got upset about it. Initially when he told me, I laughed and I kind of thought it was funny. Mainly because I was just shocked that a kid at his age would even be saying stuff like this. But truthfully, I invite people to say stuff like that to me. I post it. I'm very open about my alcoholism. I don't really have any shame in it, and people find it very shocking in some sense. But I do this because it's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not active in my drinking. There's no need for me to be ashamed of it. I'm ashamed of who I was and what I have done. But I'm in this action of repenting for them and asking myself and others for forgiveness. And in that, some people are more receptive than others. There's only so much that I can do, but ultimately, back to the whole idea of perception, in my last video, it's up to me. But back to this initial thing that happened with my son, I wanted to react in some sense, feeling like, oh, I need to speak to this mother and blah, blah, blah. And then I just thought about it, although the actions as to why this kid said it to him wasn't because I think he saw my videos or my Instagram and things like that. It was because my son had told him. I guess he didn't realize that he would use it against him in some sense. And my son got upset, but I am not upset. I know that that's something that people are going to say, and people put labels on certain things. But I could be called a lot worse. And I want people to come out more and talk about their addictions and, and be not proud, but not also labeling themselves. Somebody that is now helping me, mentor me in Refuge Recovery, we talked about it, and even he was saying oh, my future children will know me as an alcoholic. And in my mind, I'm like, why? They'll never see you as long as you don't drink. They're never going to see you in that active addiction. But it's also because of the stigma and the way that people place things, friends and families or situations that have happened to them, that you've done to your friends and family, and that they just label you as this person. That's putting a lot of pressure on yourself. I'm not saying that that's, AA, I know that they tell you you need to put your sobriety first. That doesn't mean that you need to sit there and label yourself on a daily basis as this person along with the stigmas. It is what it is, and continue on, just bettering yourself. That's really what it comes down to. It's not about the fact that you have this illness. It's the fact that you need to better yourself, that you use aids that the world suggested to you was a way to numb yourself. And that's very common and very normal. It's way more normal than I think people think that it is. And there's way more people in addiction that I think that they even knew. For instance, I was helping people getting sober and clean way prior to me even being sober and clean myself. Which I'm glad, because I was going down a spiral that was definitely different. I probably would have done some drugs that I've never done. Eventually, I think if I was becoming this careless drunk, I think I would have done some things that I definitely don't want to do. There's still some curiosities and things like that, but after watching some videos of other people and what they've experienced, I definitely would never try anything just for my sobriety. I've had more enlightenment in my life from being sober than I have with anything else. And it's definitely, something to be proud of. I may not have reached my year, and a year will be a huge change, at least for me, because it'll be, a little more than a month away. But I was only supposed to be on this journey for a year. I told myself that I was only going to do it for a year, and I wasn't going to go any further than that, because the problem was the alcohol and not me actually consuming the alcohol. And now I'm realizing, like, why would I want to go back? Like, why would I want anything different? Because me going back to that does nothing for me. Like, even today, I had an orientation for a new job that I'll be starting, which is serving. And something that immediately came to my mind was, like, I've backed out of bartending. And I was kind of, like, wrestling with my ego and my pride a little bit and being like, I really need to get back into that, and that's what I need to be doing, and I'm stepping backwards. But this isn't what I want to do anyways, serving and bartending, period. Like, it's not really what I want to be doing. So why is me taking a step back to serving any different? Like, honestly, it's actually a little bit better for myself considering that I'm on the other side of the bar. Because I was starting to feel like, and I know that I voiced my opinion to some people, I was starting to feel a little bit like a drug dealer because I'm so much promoting people not drinking or doing drugs as much as possible as to anybody who will listen. And it just wasn't healthy for me. Although, I think that's why sometimes I still stay in the service industry, and I have tried to venture out, but I stay in the service industry because it's still an awakening where I get to see people like the regulars that go to the bar and they don't realize how much they have to like rely on alcohol. And that kind of just reminds me, and like it's a little bit of a refresher for myself, like, that's not you. Like, at least you were able to catch on and realize that you didn't have to do that. In the orientation, we had to speak about what we cared about most and who we are and what our positions were and this, that, and the other. So, I know that he hired me as like a server bartender, but when I came in, it said server, and I'm just sticking with it. I'm sticking that I was a server. But I stood up, I just said, my name's Sarah, I'm a server, and my most important thing to me is my son and also sober living. Like, I try to promote that for people, and I was out of everybody there. I think there was like at least probably close to 20, 25 other people. I actually got not a standing ovation. Oh my God, so extra. I got people to clap for me about that. Because it's something to be proud of if you're living outside of the norm, which it is outside of the norm. That's something to be proud of, and I'm very proud of where I am, whether you're only 10 days in, whether you're however many days years in, it's definitely something to be proud of. But that's why I make videos, because it's for me and for me to look back and realize like where I've come from and that I'm not that person, and people can call me an angry drunk and this, that, and the other, and that's who I used to be. But I'm very proud of who I am now, and I'm very proud of who I'm becoming, and I'm very proud of who I'm becoming to love, and I think that's like the most important part of it. And the huge thing that they talk about in sobriety and just in recovery in general is how you can choose abstinence and still not be recovering, like, because you're not actually fixing the internal stuff that actually got you there. And that I have to say, like, for anybody who's new to recovery and things like that, that is definitely the most difficult thing, because I have now it's it's a little over 10 months, and now I'm not actually finally getting to a lot of my root issues and things like that inventory part, and it's definitely the most difficult, but it's the most important part of your recovery. And any of those skeletons or secrets that you're trying to keep in there, it's not going to work for you. It's definitely not, because definitely getting sober, now I'm like remembering a lot of crap that I had hidden or forgotten or suppressed. So, I just wanted to speak on that. No hard feelings towards the kid that said anything to my son, by the way, because, shit happens. And he was just trying to hurt people. So, it is what it is. He understands and is proud of me as well. So, that's what matters. So, that's all. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Namaste sober, and I hope you do too.